It's tough for me to put exactly when I was first introduced to it, but I came into the church in my adult life, and I just always remember my wife praying it. But when it first became very meaningful to me was after I consecrated myself to Mary about 5 years ago.
My aunt got me one I specifically remember in second grade, and that's the first rosary. She actually made it for me that I remember specifically getting. So just like kindergarten through second grade was like the first time I encountered the rosary.
I think I got this book when I was baptized, and it was on how to pray the rosary, and it had a picture of Mary on the front. And during Mass, I would read it and I'd try to understand it, and eventually I understood how to pray the rosary, and I would pray it with my parents.
When I was little, my family did like a traveling rosary with some other families from our parish, and we would say it as a family, probably when I was like 5 or 6.
So strong and bright, gentle.
When I was diagnosed with serious intestinal cancer, I probably prayed the rosary 3 times a day and had the rosary with me everywhere I went. It really made a big difference in giving me a sense of peace and comfort, during my cancer.
One of our sons had an issue with addictions, and we made a prayerful decision to send him to a facility in Wyoming. And that night that they came to take my son away, my heart at that time was pierced so deep, and I didn't know how I would go forward. But the next day I walked into Ascension, and as I came to the Holy Fount, I blessed myself and I looked up at the crucifix and I said, Jesus, as much as I love my son, I know that you love him more, and that's your son. And that's the day from then forward that I have been at his knees thanks to our Blessed Mother. But also it's when I realized how great and powerful that rosary is.
After years of trying to have children and after 4 miscarriages, we had given up all hope. I was given a rosary by a friend of mine that was his grandmother's. My wife and I started praying the rosary every night before bed. Even when I was on the road, I would call home and we'd say the rosary over the phone. My wife's grandmother was on her deathbed, and she had a special devotion to the Blessed Mother and sang the rosary. She had told my father-in-law that she would put in a good word for my wife and I and ask the Blessed Mother to intercede so that we would have children. She passed away, and a few days later was my wife and I's anniversary, and 9 months later, my firstborn daughter was born.
My daughter was in the hospital. She was readmitted because of difficulties that they had, and she was so bad. She was very, very ill. I once again prayed the rosary so intently that within the next couple of days, she got her color back and everything was well with her, and she did come home again, praying that she comes home to her family in good health and safely.